It is possible to change the data source for a chart after it's been created, should there be an issue or should you have selected the wrong thing. So if I were to select my chart here, I do my keyboard shortcut, creates me a chart, and I go, oh, I've missed off one of the options. Then instead of deleting it and starting again, because I might have done some work on it and made it look good and done some formatting, what I don't want to do is change all that formatting. What I want to do is just add in the option I messed up on. So let's do a little bit of formatting and add a quick layout option. What about that? Pretty enough. Then I go, oh, I have missed off a whole region. So I go to Select Data. That then brings up the Select Data dialog box and shows me what it has. It has 3 legend entries, which are the series of North, South and East. Then each of those series, the North, South, East and West, have category labels. So I can see in each of them, car sold, plane sold, bike sold, helicopter sold, speedboat sold. And Excel's done really all that work for me. Now I could go through, not complicated, but not such an easy process of adding a new legend series and making sure it has categories. Or I could just go up to the top here where it says Chart Data Area and tell Excel, actually, I've got the wrong area. So I go Browse and re-highlight the new area, therefore picking up the West. Come back and we find it has a problem. The reason for that is it's added in my new area to my old area, which has definitely complicated the poor thing. So what I need to do is delete all of that, then go to Browse and pick up this whole area. Check that it's picked up the correct range, which it now has. Come back to the dialog box. I notice my new region is added in the bottom here. OK, back to my chart, and West now exists. So apart from the little hiccup, which could occur of double highlighting the area, it's easier to go into that data box and just highlight the new area, which is the same, not just as we've done here, missed out a series by accident, but what happens if we want to change where we're actually getting the data from. This data is the whole of 2013. If I wanted to change that and say, let's just see the January information, then I can go to Select Data, browse for the new data, delete what I've already got in there, then move to January while this box is open, highlight everything that I want now on the chart from January, back in to Select Data Source, and then OK, and my chart is now mapping January. However, I'm not immediately obvious that I am now mapping January. So the easiest thing to do there is to add a little label that picks up the sheet, but then that won't be within the chart data, so it would get a little bit messy. Or we change our label slightly. I go into, let's say, the Jan sheet, and just put Jan cars, Jan planes, Jan bikes, Jan helicopters, Jan boats, Jan horses, and Jan caravans. And then my chart responds to those changes, and I can see it then has the name of the month that I'm looking at. Obviously that would necessitate me changing all of the labels all the way through, or thinking ahead and designing them with the labels for the month in. But physically changing the data is a very straightforward process. We select the chart. On the Chart Tools design ribbon, there is a Select Data option. Rather than play around or negotiate or edit series or the category labels, which we will do subsequently, we just want to swap the whole data source. So I delete what's there and browse for my new set of data. So I may choose to go to March, and in March I might not even choose all of the options. Come back in, OK, and I'm then looking at some of the March data in my chart. So it's quite useful either for a mistake, because you missed out a row or a column, or you've selected the wrong sheet, or you actually want to change the chart data because you've got a pretty chart, but you now want to change its data. Or you might create this chart and copy it. So we copy the sheet just by grabbing, dragging and dropping with the Control key down. And then once I've copied it, I then want to change it to look at a different set of data. So this one, instead of looking at March, delete, can look at April. OK, and that's now April's data, whereas this one is March's. So there are plenty of uses for needing to change the data source of a chart, whether that be by mistake or intentional, as we've done here. We've copied the chart because we've made it look pretty, it looks just like we want it to, but now I want it to be copied and look at a different month, and copy it again and look at a different month. So I could replicate this chart 12 times and get each chart to now look at a different month very quickly, but still have the same layout, colour scheme theme that I've set up.